Hey man, it's Reno Bun here. I was going to talk to y'all about this week in sports. It's been a tragic week with the passing of the Ultimate Warrior who could kick ass with or without face paint. He was an American legend, just like my friend Hulk Hogan and his brother Paul Hogan that was in Crocodile Dundee. Man, uh, it's just a tragic week in sports when something like that happens, and it just starts your week off in a bad way. And I knew this week wouldn't go in good, and it hasn't, and we'll get on to that later on. But right now, my heart goes out to the Ultimate Warrior's family, and I hope they bury him with his boots and face paint on. Man, that's just the only way he needs to go out. And moving on to the subject that the Ultimate Warrior was probably accused of back in his day is the same as these Yankee pitchers, man, making these big bucks, cheating. And all they do, man, it's simple. I used to pitch. I got a whole segment on baseball tips, but I didn't put this in there because it borderlines cheating. And you can spit tobacco juice because I seen the picture, and that's exactly what it is. It's just your everyday red man, just tobacco juice right there on his hand, and you put that on there. It gives you a little more whiff on your curveball. It puts a little more juice on it, see? And I got caught cheating one time, and I've been opposed to it ever since. But we was playing a wiffle ball game, and I don't know if you ever grabbed a wiffle ball, but man, them things are slick. And I was pitching; it's got grooves on one side of it. But I took a Trojan condom and put over that thing to give it a little rubber feel to it, right? And I could throw a mean curveball because the floppy end of that condom would just cause that thing to twirl. And if you use the clear pack, can't nobody hardly see it anyway. And I was hoping they'd hit it back to me, but hit it right to the umpire. I was thrown off the mound, ejected from the game. I had to drive home from the city park on my bicycle, and it was just a bad day for everybody. Moving on, a subject tonight. I knew this week wasn't in good in sports when Delana Harvick, the crew chief for Kevin, her husband who drives the car, makes a call to take 4 tires, and Rick Hendricks has 3 in the top 5, and just they all take 2. It makes no sense because let's face it, you're at the track that's too tough to name, and you know you're gonna come up on a green white checkered. You're gonna have them. It's gonna happen because you're at Darlington, man. And you're going to have multiple. If you have one, then so be it. But you take 4 tires, and Delana has outsmarted all of Rick Hendricks' crew chiefs. And I make about 11 grand a year selling firewood out of the back of my pickup. Sometimes I go down to Georgia and get a load of watermelons and sell them. But you know better, man, than to take 2 tires at the track too tough to name. You're going to hit the wall. And just what happens is, here's the way I see society today. Okay, you got me. I make 11 grand a year. I make good decisions, and I live right on my 11 grand. I'm tickled to death. You got all these Steve Letarts and Chad Canouses and all these good crew chiefs, and they all make bad decisions for Hendricks. And I don't know if their wives have as much pull as Delana does over there in the racing suit at Harvick's camp, but you just can't do that, man. You know you gotta take 4 at Darlington. It's just the way it is. It's been like that for the last 60 years. You take 4 at Darlington. I'm on a mission right now. This is just, I'm not gonna blame the crew chief. I'm gonna blame Rick Hendrick, and we just got to get rid of him over at Hendricks. He has got to go. Somebody else is going to have to maybe hire Delana. Let her run it. She makes good calls. And just, I can't believe they was just outwitted like that. And the American legends of Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr., I mean, the Jeff Gordon, you've got the Yankees all on one race team. Cheat or no cheat, get caught, you don't, whatever, you still get outsmarted and you make big bucks. And they make bad decisions. Congress makes bad decisions and makes big bucks. And all the people that make big money make big bad decisions. And I'm going to start making some bad decisions and see if my pay scale don't increase. And just see, my theory break down before my eyes. something just ain't right. I say we get rid of Hendricks, kick the Yankees out of baseball, bring back Pete Rose, and let him in the Hall of Fame. And the Ultimate Warrior, may he rest in peace. And I'll see you fellas next week, and maybe it will be on a brighter note.